Hello everyone and welcome back to the Royal Ravens Rundown. I'm your host Vikkstar. We're going to be mixing things up for this episode. We're going to be diving straight in with our guest very shortly, who is a legend in the gaming and live streaming scene. We're going to have Dr.Lupo with us in just a moment. Thank you for your support on these episodes so far, guys. Make sure you subscribe. Let us know down below who you want to see in future episodes, and let's get right into it. Ben, hello, welcome aboard. Thank you for joining me. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Vic. Thanks for having me on, man.
No problem. I want to get straight into this. You're one of the most notorious variety streamers. My story is almost exactly the same, and it's crazy how our paths never really crossed until we got into Fortnite, and we'll get into that in a little moment. But yeah, you've covered all of these games, and I think that's one of the nicest things to do as a streamer is have a game that you enjoy, you put time and effort into it, and then just as you lose interest, there's something new. And I think we hit a really nice cycle.
So Destiny's the first game, and then PUBG came around like the perfect timing when I was starting to get burnt out of the game. So I switched gears there. For a little while, I played H1Z1, dabbled in Overwatch for a little bit, and then a little game called Fortnite showed up out of nowhere.
There we go.
And that's when the ball really got rolling, I think.
My first kind of question to delve into is, out of all of these games that you've streamed, which has been your favorite?
Oh, that's like, okay, you just asked me to pick my favorite child. That's not fair. Fortnite definitely has, I mean, it's huge. You name anybody, they probably know what Fortnite is, right? And so I think that's almost an unprecedented level of exposure. Call of Duty gets close because before Fortnite even was a thing, Call of Duty had had like pro players and professional athletes. Everybody at that level talked about Call of Duty too. Of all the games that I've streamed, my favorite game to stream, I don't know, I think the Destiny community has something special because they're very passionate players that really rally around Bungie to try and generate. They're trying to help create the best game experience they possibly can. Not that I know that might sound like shade to other communities. And I apologize if that's the case. That's not what I intended. I do think Destiny really has a lot of power behind the community and what the people that are super passionate about the game try and do with the game. That's where a lot of the charity efforts that I've been a part of originally started was around Destiny. So I think that'll always have a special place in my heart. I'm sorry, I love all my children very much. I do, but
that was a tough question. I really.
What? You're coming out swinging out of the gate, Vic. Come on, man. It's definitely like it is a statement about the communities themselves because they're all super passionate. So I have a big respect for every single one of them.
And I guess it wouldn't be fair for me to bring you in here and ask you this question and then not answer it myself. I didn't have an answer planned. For some reason, I'm like, right, here we go. Now. I'm like, these are questions for Lupo. I will ask him these questions. At first, I was going to just jump straight in there and say Call of Duty Warzone. And that is because, for me, I got to compete in that game. And that's something I never kind of expected to be doing as a content creator, is playing against some of the best players in the world and, really having that competitive angle that we kind of got in Fortnite with Fortnite Friday. But then I feel like it became, as soon as they released the training modes, as soon as they released Playground and Creative, and people were doing edit courses and they were practicing for hours a day, I completely fell off on that game and I could not compete. And I hold my hands up to it. That's okay, that happened. So for that reason, I was going to originally go with Warzone, but then I stopped for a second and I thought, as a content creator and as a live streamer, what is something that I've really enjoyed with the title? And actually, it brings me back to Fortnite. When they were first doing their weekly updates, that was such a blessing as someone who was live streaming and creating content. There was a new way to play the game. There was a new way to break the game, mess around with the game every week. And it didn't matter how broken it was because the next week they'd change it again.
I think it definitely directly impacted the player base's opinion on the update cadence for other games.
It was something completely new and keeps that excitement going. So yeah, it has to be Fortnite for me, but I've covered so many games. I like yourself, and it is hard to pick one out of them.
Vic, that makes us sound really old, just so you know. When you're like, oh, we've seen it all, man. I'm like, come on, Vic, no way.
No, you've got to own it. You've got to own that. Like, cause I think that gives us a good perspective. I think
you were potentially a little more trustworthy when it comes to broader opinions. We'll say that's the politically correct way to say it. But you're right though. It's like, I've been around in gaming, streaming or not, for quite a while. I mean, even back, I think the first game that I super played competitively was Rainbow Six Rogue Spear on my brother's gateway. Just running on a Pentium 3, screaming fast, 500 megahertz, dude. But it was like, it's those kind of experiences that lead up to what we have now, and really seeing the way that the gaming industry has changed and evolved, even down to right now, we are literally doing the Royal Ravens rundown with Vikkstar. Look at this. This, you see what I'm saying, though? This is a big change from where we started, and things keep growing and evolving, and it's nice to see positive change come out of where we started versus where we are now.
So to draw back on something that you touched on, what's your experience with Call of Duty outside of Warzone? Did you play much? Did you stream much? Talk me through it.
So I think I started on COD during COD 4 back in the day. I think a lot of people probably played COD 4 over. It was like the beginning for a lot of people's Call of Duty experience. I think from what I know. I didn't really play COD before that too much, but then MW2 came out, and that was like that was the first COD that I full sent into. Was going for prestiges repeatedly and like trying to do everything that I could. I dabbled in Call of Duty. I touched Black Ops over the course of its entire history, even all the way up to Black Ops 4. The games have always been really enjoyable. It's just I don't know what it is about that versus Halo. I always got sucked back to the Halo arena shooter, but then Warzone came out, and I know you didn't want to like bring it as you don't want it as the main focus of the question, obviously. But Warzone definitely, because of the BR boom, exploded a lot of people's opinions about what they thought of Call of Duty, because man, they really have set, like Epic did with Fortnite. They've set a precedent. This is the standard for especially getting back into a game. One of the biggest criticisms about Fortnite, during the original heyday, was if you die, you get eliminated, you have to watch your friends play. And
your favorite streamer was never happy. Your favorite streamer was like,
man. And then,
because if you don't res them, that's it. Their content's gone. Like,
I can't tell you how many times Tyler screamed "res me" during I'm just gonna say it. I love Ty. You're a very good friend, but Ninja definitely told me to res him many times, and it's not his fault. It's just, as a content creator, before the reboot vans and everything, you got in a situation where that was your shot. You got eliminated. You just had to sit there and watch the rest of the game because you didn't want to make your friends back out. You'd come off like kind of a jerk. So you're like, okay, don't worry, I'll just sit and BS with Chad and hang out.
You're dying inside. You're sat there smiling. Oh, you're like, yep, this is fine. Come on, guys, go.
You guys got
and you're dying inside.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and that's one of the crazy ways this whole scene can work. But I think you're right. That kind of not being able to come back was huge. And the gulag, it was, I think the two things is the gulag and the shop system and the economy system. They seem like small things. When I first played Warzone, I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. You can come back, you can use the shop. But now when I put hundreds and hundreds of hours in, I'm like, oh my goodness, that was such an iconic idea. And it took a while as well. It wasn't like Warzone dropped and everyone was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. I remember when it first dropped, I streamed it for the first week and I was getting way lower viewers than I ever had on Fortnite, like a tenth. But I was kind of enjoying it, but I was like, does this have like the legs to it? And then as time went on, I was like, oh, there's a lot to this, actually. There's a lot of meta to it. There's a lot of strategy. There's a lot of, excitement. And it really kind of built out something huge. But I don't think anyone expected it. I think everyone expected Call of Duty to come, Activision, AAA publisher, let's do our BR, let's, and just try and copy what was already out there and miss the mark. But they hit it well on the head.
You were saying that I think the innovation that came from the buyback system and most definitely the gulag, the ability to get back in the game, that is a massive piece of the puzzle when you look at what keeps people coming back to Call of Duty and Warzone specifically, is because the frustration that comes from not being able to play. I think the player base as a whole, the last thing that you want to do when you have a controller in your hand or keyboard and mouse, you don't want to have to spend that time not using them, right? I'm playing a game, I want to be playing the game. And so the gulag and buyback and all that, you add all that together, Warzone has this piece of it that other people can try and emulate, but it's not going to be the same because they're doing such a damn good job of it. No other game has been able to replicate it in the same way. And the gulag piece is so iconic, especially for content creators. The number of times I've seen Doc do 360s and you know, get the one tap on people, and Tim the Tap Man dying repeatedly to, you know, to shenanigans. Sorry, Tim. But no, it's true. It's like that's a big piece of Warzone.
It's also
crazy entertaining.
Yeah, and as a creator, also actually it lets you be more creative, because on Fortnite in the early days, you're going to go for something a little bit risky. You're going to have like an impulse jump in play. If you die, that's it. You're watching your friends for the rest of the end. They're not going to come and res you if you've jumped in. Whereas, on Warzone, like, I can jump out of a helicopter, try and no-scope someone, glide and try and land in the back of their truck. And if I die, hey, I've got another shot. So I think that made it so fun as a content creator. And actually just this whole conversation, again, has spurred something off that I'd completely forgotten. I remember when I first started playing Warzone, it didn't quite make sense in my head. As a H1Z1 and a PUBG player, I was really confused. I was like, wait, so I'm not trying to loot attachments. I'm not trying to make my guns better. Wait, you're saying I can just spend money and get a pre-built-in loadout? I was like, how does this work? Where's the kind of the RNG element, the progression to it? But it has its own unique kind of spin on that. With the money system, you're always trying to chase the money in the game, and that's the reason to keep looting, and kind of the loadouts give so much customization.
One of the biggest things is the fact that, like, RNG is literally a main sticking point for a lot of BR players that get frustrated by the way that games play out. It's like, I would have done better if I had XYZ thing. So what COD did was, you're not looking for level 1, 2, and 3 armor. You're looking for the resource to boost your armor up. You're not looking for, a barrel attachment, a grip, a certain sight. You're looking for money from literally doing quests, basically, right? And all the bounty stuff all feeds into. You don't have to look for the RNG is literally the very beginning. You're like, what weapons am I going to drop on? Who am I going to run into?
It falls off quite quick, which is good.
Oh actually. You get the money, you get the kit that you want to run, and then you don't have to worry about the randomness anymore. And that has given the player base a lot to rally behind, because you don't have to say, oh, I only lost that because of RNG. Instead, you're like, okay, I can play it a little better, and I can go for this and maybe push this one group, and like you're not the fallback excuses, right?
Let's be real. Any streamer, we love a good excuse.
Listen, it was lagging, Vikk. Okay, that guy was cheating. My game was lagging, dude. It's unbelievable. You know what I'm talking about, right, chat? And then you look to them, they're like, oh yeah, dude, it's terrible. You're fine. And then you just roll on.
And kind of moving away from games a little bit, we've got one last thing I wanted to discuss with you a little. And I think it's something that every streamer knows well and truly about. And maybe the audience, not so much, because they don't see it in the same way. But we're talking about people being toxic in live stream chats to streamers, whether it's usually on a competitive game. I saw you mention that sometimes you just have your chat that you don't pay attention to. I've done the same thing sometimes, when you're not performing as well as you'd hope to be, and you've got thousands of people who are convinced that they're better, they can kind of get on your case, and it can get so frustrating. Is there any solution that you see? What do you think? Or is it something that you just have to try and ignore as best you can?
No, ignoring it obviously will get the job done in the moment, but it doesn't. That's like a band-aid, right? People oftentimes, from what I've seen, crave attention in some form, and a lot of it probably comes from a feeling that they're having themselves, maybe about themselves or about whatever situation they're in, their own life, that kind of thing, and lash out in a negative way. I mean, that's a pretty typical, sadly, human trait is that kind of like redirection of negative feeling. And I mean, I even suffer from that myself. I openly admit that. This is one of those things that I strongly dislike, the idea that it's part of the territory. It shouldn't be. I agree. And I think a lot of the potential for resolution is going to come from education and influence on the people that watch you, in a way that they learn that that's not the right thing to do. But I've gone through waves of not being super happy, and it's definitely streaming has opened me up more to negative commentary, baseless negative commentary that obviously should not get to you, but you still somehow, you look at chat, you've got thousands of people watching, people typing, and you can still pick out the negative stuff that you know it's not true, right?
Yeah.
You know it's BS.
Sure.
You know it's people just trying to bait a negative reaction, and it does work on people. But it's like it's a tough mental space to work your way through, right? Because like when I get on stream, I know that I'm very good at the games that I play because I'm very passionate about them and I put the time into them and stuff like that. I can compete, maybe not at a professional level, but there's a reason that people watch me play games. Like I said before, actually, the interview even started, Tarkov. I play a lot of Tarkov. But with that comes people that are like, bro, I obviously saw that dude. You didn't see him. Are you kidding me? I'm like, oh, okay, well, you're not in my chair. You're not doing this. So, like, I know in my head that
just to jump in, hindsight is the most painful thing as a streamer. Because there's always 1,000 ways to tackle a challenge in a game, and often you're just gonna by chance choose the wrong one. And there's nothing that grinds my gears more than when people highlight that and speak after the fact, after the outcome, and act as if you should have changed your decision before you saw what the results were going to be. It just blows my mind.
Can you just time travel real quick, Vic, and figure it out, please? You just go back in time and do that thing you failed? Yeah. But, I mean, you're right, though. It's like it builds up this, like, negative energy, right? What will resolve that is educating and setting an example as a content creator, as an influencer. There's a reason, like the influencer portion of your job, whether you like it or not, you are an influencer. You can say all day, I don't want to speak up about this cause. I don't want to talk about this thing. Your silence is also influencing people on those things you don't want to talk about, which is why I've been vocal about all sorts of stuff, trans rights and BLM and as many different positive causes, like the stuff that the money we raise for St. Jude to help kids fight cancer. Those things influence. You might not want to be part of it as a content creator, but whether you like it or not, that's part of your job. So when it comes to setting the standard for how people should respond to negativity, and this is a thing that I forget and I'm trying to work on, it's like it's not good if you respond to negativity in your chat with name calling and and that kind of stuff. It doesn't help build the community, the gaming as a whole.
It's tough though, because sometimes
it's not easy at all.
I feel like responding. Sometimes the biggest problem is that, like you said, is people doing it for attention. So I find it so hard because sometimes I can respond in what I feel to be the perfect way, but I still know that person is sat there and they've got the result they want from being negative, and that's what I think makes it so hard to tackle. It's almost like a lose-lose. They're horrible to you. You respond to them and try and correct them, and then they're like, yes, I got a response. But then if you ignore them, like they perhaps think that it's acceptable to go and do that. So it is it's it's almost like a paradox in a sense.
You have on top of, like you said, very small negative group of people, but you have to remember as a content creator, and I try and remind myself of this all the time, is that there are also thousands of people that want to just see you have fun and laugh along with you. And that's the group that you got to focus on, because they're the people that are supporting you. They're the people that are there to watch you, that they enjoy your content. And it's like, you have to have a constant reminder. I actually use sticky notes sometimes and put them around on my monitor edges to remind myself
that's a nice idea.
It's just like, so I look at my chat window, and just to the left of that is just literally a sticky note with a smiley face on it. And that's it. It's just like, to remind yourself that people are there to watch you have fun.
You can't hyper-focus in on one perspective. You'll lose your mind if you do.
It's tough sometimes, and it does get the best of, I think, everybody. And it's a good reminder that there's no shame in getting frustrated by people being toxic or negative. It's how you respond and how you move with it. And if you take the opportunity, like I said, to educate and show people the right way.
Okay, so Ben, now on a slightly less serious note, we are in the final part of this segment. This is going to be your royal moment. So we've been going through all of your incredible moments. We picked out one that we're going to bring up, we're going to watch right now, and a little nostalgia, a little discussion. So let's pull it up, and here we go. God. This was hand selected by me.
This is such a throwback, dude. You look at the camera too. I'm at my old place, dude.
That's it. That is the victory royale. To me, that's a time. That takes me back to a time and a place where it was so fun. Just try
this
stuff
was
like that.
So early in Fortnite too, because the UI has changed so much from this, and that was probably one of Tyler and I's first like rocket ride eliminations for a win like that.
But
this
yeah,
is
it's peak Fortnite. This is something that was never supposed to happen. You were never supposed to fly on a rocket, but because of the way Fortnite was, it goes back to our earlier conversations.
That moment is absolutely iconic for me, especially because it was one of the first times we had done the rocket ride into, like, I dragged a snipe across the dude's face and got the elimination, got the win. Few things felt as good as that back when Fortnite was like my main thing, because it was wild that you could take somebody out that way.
That was one of the best. That's the best way you can end a game, and winning was enough. Back then, you win a game of Fortnite, and that's a buzz. And then when we learned you could end a game by doing something like that, it was the creme de la creme. So that brings us almost full circle on this whole exploration of battle royale and gaming. It has been an absolute pleasure having you join me here today. We'll continue our journeys, and hopefully we will link back up on a future bot game or battle royale game in the Halo universe.
I was going to say, Halo VR, Vikk, me and you, man. I'll see you there. I appreciate you having me on the show. Absolutely a pleasure to talk to you. Shout out to Royal Ravens and Rogue for giving me the chance to come on and talk. You let me know when you need me, and I'm there to do whatever shooting you need, okay?
And now we have another special guest for the episode. In a second here, we're going to be chatting to Seany, who is one of the players on the London Royal Ravens. So we have him right here, right now. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm feeling a lot better than last week. We had a rough week with the team, but we've kind of had the time to regroup and get some things together and try and figure out the next steps for us as a team. And after all the conversations that we've had, hopefully things can start getting underway for the Ravens, get some wins on the board.
Yeah, that's definitely, I mean, in a weird way, the only way from here is up. And I think definitely the 2 roster changes, no other teams had to go through that. How did that affect how the major went for you guys last week? Because it looked rough, but talk us through it.
So we obviously introduced Parasite because our teammate Zero couldn't get out to the US. So we practiced with Zero for like 4 months before we made this decision. So it was last minute decision. And then our main problem was, because of the Texas situation, that they made the super week. Like, it was supposed to be like in 2 weeks. So we had a substitute in, which then had to play all 4 games back to back to back with the least practice. And it clearly showed, like, we're nowhere as good as we should be. And we know that, and it hurts that obviously a lot of fans know that, but obviously there is also a lot of fans who are frustrated, which I understand. It was the main problem was it was the super week, which was back to back to back to back games, and we just didn't have time to figure out with a new player. And going into the major, we had started in loser brackets, and then we had to use another substitute in Zed. Zach came in and done well in Search and Destroy, as people have seen. He helped us in Search and Destroy, but yeah, that was a last minute substitute after having a last minute sub 4 weeks ago. So I'm hoping people can understand where it's coming from, and we can like now take steps to like start building up like as a team and get those wins on the board. So
I feel like also because I was watching the matches, there were moments where it looked incredible. There were some games that you guys took that no one expected, but I feel like actually one of the things with going down to the 4-player teams is that it makes so much more of a difference. You have to be so much more coordinated. I noticed watching the games, you really have to be in the same mindset without even saying anything, and you can only get there by practicing. So when the roster changes once and then twice during competing, I think that definitely, I could tell from watching from an outside perspective how difficult that made things. There's a lot more that goes into kind of before the games, as well, the practicing, the scrimming. So I guess, this is, a message to anyone that was being negative towards the team that, this is why it didn't go the way it was supposed to go. How did you find that, seeing kind of the negative feedback from, and I don't actually think it was from the fans. I saw a lot of fans being really supportive in the kind of moments where it was all looking up. But I think it's very much a thing in the Call of Duty league and community to be really toxic to other teams when you're supporting one team. What are your thoughts on that? Like, is it okay? Does it go too far?
It definitely can go too far, but it just depends on the person. Me personally, I see it and I'm just like, end of the day, like we're still 0-5. The negativity from the fans or like other teams' fans is warranted right now, even though with the situation. I'm not too stressed about it, to be honest. In the day, it's social media. People obviously just like to wind each other up, and honestly, for us, we don't really mind. It's like we know we have a lot to work on, even though it's negativity. We're still, at least we're seeing that, and it's like, we don't want to see that anymore. So Like, we don't want to lose anymore. So now this is our chance. We have a few weeks to practice with the team that we're going to have for this next major, and there's no excuses. So yeah, so keep giving the negativity if you want. I really don't mind. Like soon it's going to turn round. Yeah, soon it's going to turn round. So it's just keep doing it if you want. Like when we start winning, we'll rub it back in your face. So UK
as well. So UK, if anyone can take it on the chin, it's us right here, right now. So fuel us up, and yeah, hopefully bigger and better things coming along. So it's good to get that insight. Now you're going to be joining me on our fan-submitted top plays of the week. The winner will be getting themselves some awesome London Royal Ravens merch. We have 3 shortlisted potential winners coming up. It's up to me and you to decide who the winner is. If any of you guys are watching right now and want to win some merch and get on the episode for the next one, then just get your clip submitted on Twitter. Follow the Royal Ravens on Twitter. Stay up to date. And with that said, let's load up our first clip and see what we got. And here we have our first clip. This is Ninnis Dylan. He's on Cold War. He's on Search and Destroy. Is this Miami? This is Miami. Let's run it. Let's see what he's got in the locker.
Have a look.
Okay. So it's 4v1. Never where you want to be. Let's see. Oh,
he's playing it smart.
No.
Wait, hold on.
Wait. That guy must have assumed that it was his teammate that ran past him.
Yeah,
I've done that before. Have you ever done that?
100%.
Have you ever, like, where you're stacked up on his site and you're like, nah, we're fine.
You're like, there's no way that's that guy. There's no way that's him.
You see someone run past. Yeah.
He's went for the smart play. He went for the smart play. Like that's probably the best chance that you have. That's probably the best chance you have in a 1v4 right there. So he got lucky, but that's the best play you could have made.
Oh yeah, that takes composure though. Like if I see 2 people in front of me and they don't see me, I want to gun them every time.
One thing I say, Europeans though, we love to like ninja defuse, so that's why I like that. I think that's the smartest play.
Troll.
We do that all the time.
Okay, so now we have Savage CDL, and he's in hard point. So see what he can do here.
Running MP5 like
Enemy spy plane inbound.
Quick switch up. Okay, 3 streak.
Definitely nice. Your Red Bulls down.
Okay, that was impressive with the iron sight.
Yeah, he's making this gun look pretty good.
Yeah.
This gun look better there.
That was good.
Still going.
6. What's he got? The thing is, he's not getting on the point. So I don't. Yeah. If he was doing this on the point, like he's kind of like helping his team, but I don't know.
I mean, I guess getting streaks. I guess getting streaks to help the team. I guess.
Like, you definitely die if he jumped on the point, but...
There we go, he's back.
There we go, he heard us.
Oh, no, they heard you.
That was it. That was the end of the clip.
I like that. That was more skill than the last one was more composure and smart, and this is more just skill.
Yeah, we've got from one extreme to the other, like complete gun skill, complete game sense. That's right, let's get on to our final clip right here. We have got Speedy Melts in Search and Destroy. This is Checkmate. I struggle with Search on this map. Are you a fan or not? What do you reckon?
If you look at our recent games, nah. We ain't good at this map.
It's tough.
It's a confusing map right now, man, but we'll figure it out. I'll probably take some lessons from this guy.
Good patience there.
Yeah.
Again, he waited for the shots.
This is to win the game as well. This is 5-1.
Yeah, bombs down as well. That was aggressive.
Yeah, I like that. This is the clip for me.
It could be.
Well. Yeah. Yes.
A huge flank, and he nearly got caught there.
Yeah, great play. That's hard to do in this game. Really hard to do. 1v4 is like killing every player and defusing. Like.
This movement at the start was really good as well. That's what Cold War's all about. That slide pass. That's the only way he's getting that kill there in that 2v1. And yeah, see, this is where I'm watching. So he gets this kill here. Instinctively, I'm going to sit on the bomb there. So obviously, I'm potentially going to make the wrong play. Whereas he knows, because the second he would have picked that bomb up, he would have been jumped by that guy. Yeah.
Honestly, the way it put that was gun skill and smarts, and the other two was like one another. So I feel like honestly for me, this one is definitely the one to take it for me.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. It had the movement as well. The movement was good in the second and third clip. But there we go. We have our winner, Speedy Melts, winning himself some London Royal Ravens merch. Thank you for joining me today, and good luck with all the scrimming. And hopefully, in the next matches, we'll see a whole new side of the team. So
we will. Don't worry. We've got the London boys. We've got them.
And that is going to be all for this episode of the Ravens Rundown. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Let me know who you want to see joining me in future episodes. Make sure you're following the team on Twitter, and we'll see you all next time. Peace out.